Hello, welcome back to GameSpot's continuing coverage of E3 2015. We are live in the West Hall right here in the LACC in Los Angeles, California. And I'm delighted to be joined by Andrew Witts. How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. You're wearing a Rainbow Six Siege shirt. That probably means you're on here to talk about Rainbow Six Siege a little bit.
Yes, I am.
First question right at the gate. Where's Ding Chavez?
Ding Chavez?
What are you doing to me, man? I'm old school Rainbow Six fan. Where's my boy Ding? Can I name myself Ding?
Well, we don't have Ding, but we do have a lot of stuff if you're an old Rainbow Six fan. Terror Hunt is back.
All right, tell me about that, Bob.
Well, Terror Hunt is back. It's going to have 4 modes, 3 modes of you as an attacker, and 1 mode is we as a defender. And we're going to have, and one of those modes is Terror Hunt Classic, which is the one you know and love, just breaking in, eliminating all the terrorists. What you saw yesterday is a new mode called Disarm Bombs. You have to break in, disarm 2 bombs, and we have made the most challenging AI yet in the Rainbow Six game.
Excellent. Yeah, the presentation yesterday was very bombastic. I think you guys have done a good job of trying to sort of communicate what this game is to people through the betas, through coverage, game sites have been doing. At times it feels like this is, because Rainbow Six is a game that can be very, like the old Rainbow Six are very methodical and planning based, but then also when you think about Vegas or you think about what happens when shit hits the fan, it kind of gets crazy. How difficult is it to sort of balance those two worlds, like a sort of a slow pace, but then when it kicks, it really gets frenetic?
Well, we wanted to have an ebb and flow, so we wanted players to spawn into like a tense situation, or a tense mission, or a tense match on PvP, and then by being in a tense match, people just start talking, right? But then we have, it's very quiet in this demo we had yesterday, in the hands-on. But then you notice as soon as you kind of break into the consulate, into where into the Terro stronghold, things just spike really quick, and you have to just you have to move, you have to talk, you have to communicate, you have to move tactically a bit, otherwise you'll get a bit punished. So it's this ebb and flow of silence and then a crescendo, and then it goes back down, and then once you plant the diffuser here, and then the tension rises right again, and the terrors come right back at you. So we've done I think we've experimented a lot, we iterated a lot, and find this ebb and flow of tension, silence, tension, this crescendo, right? Both on PvP and now at Terror Hunt.
Yeah, so PvP obviously was a lot of what we've seen over the past couple of months. So are you telling me, is everyone else involved in the terror side of this are AI combatants?
Yes, so we have, it's 1 captain and 4 other teammates, and everybody else here is all AI.
Is the setup different each time you load up? Like, because one of the cool things about Siege is there are so many different ways for the defenders, for the terrorists to sort of set up their barriers and their parameters and stuff. So each time you do this, does it change?
Yeah, so all of our design decisions in making the new Terrorist Hunt has been about replayability, like in players interacting with the sandbox. But now the AI is going to interact with the sandbox as well. So we basically, every single time you load up a match with Terror Hunt or a mission in Terror Hunt, it could be 2 versions of a map, so day or night, 3 difficulties, but we have an AI strategy manager that sets certain things and certain traps. Every single time you load up into Terrorist Hunt, there's a new puzzle for players to solve. We wanted to make it so that you never had the same experience twice in Terrorist Hunt.
Yeah. One thing, I'm delighted I got you guys on the stage, because when I was watching, I was freaking out. But this is probably completely wrong, but is this the same level from the first Rainbow Six game, the front of the ambassador's house? It looks like almost identical.
Well, we were definitely inspired by previous games ever since the get-go. We haven't been quiet about that. So in making a kind of a very Rainbow Fantasy, like unveiling Terrorist Hunt, we wanted to kind of keep it classic. So you're in a consulate here, and you're moving through, and it's similar kind of on purpose.
Yeah, I like it. The front definitely gave me that nice bit of reminiscing there. The GIGN guy here getting helped up. In terms of difficulty, one of the issues, I guess, with these games is that there's so many different pieces, mechanisms that a player has to learn. Trying to teach somebody how to play the Siege levels you were showing in the betas and that we've covered, that's kind of an easy enough concept to understand. There's a defending team and an attacking team, and you kind of have to, one team's role is the way it is, and the classes sort of fit into that. Having multiple types of these modes means that every single time you have a new mode, you have to teach the players something new again. In something like this, where you're trying to teach 4 people or so to work together against an AI, what are the challenges development-wise to try and communicate that stuff?
Well, you said it's about communication, right? It's about science and feedback, letting the player know what's going on in the mode, what's kind of going on for what are players going to get into on a very surface level, right? But again, because of the fact that it is a very tense situation, we found that because it's a very tense game and no respawn certainly helps with that, and the high lethality.
Big Counter-Strike fan, I like that. That's why I'm so interested in this game.
So players actually communicate a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, because of the fact that they just start talking whenever it's a tense situation. Like, it's same people watch horror movies and like they just start like talking about what's going to happen next, right? So we found that it's a very cool domino effect that happens here. And additionally, we want to make it all about the player experience here in Siege. As across all the modes, all of our the players' progression, as they progress, you can progress and recruit operators regardless of any mode you want to do. So that helps us in the teaching component of, if you're a PvP player, you'll learn PvP by playing PvP.
Yeah.
If you're a PvE player, you'll learn and you'll progress and learn PvE by playing it, right? We're a very hands-on player-centric game. So the more you play, the surface level is very important, but then as you discover the depth, it's all about playing more and being interested and seeing all the different nuances you can do.
Another interesting thing about Siege when I was first playing the various alphas was that it was almost like people didn't realize you could just blow through walls. Like, you had to communicate that to the player that actually this isn't like a normal first-person shooter. You don't have to stay within the boundaries of the building. You can sort of make your own path through it. What's that been like for you guys, watching players kind of get to grips with that concept?
Well, we see players kind of they just kind of seek things out, they kind of test things out, and as soon as they test something out going, this might not work, and it does, all of a sudden they go, oh, wow. And then they experiment constantly. Like, players experimenting inside of this little playground, this sandbox we made. This is the most entertaining part of for us as developers. In the closed alpha, we saw so many amazing things. We learned a lot and how to streamline and teach them a bit more. But just in general, the experimentation that players go through and the creativity and the things they come up with, both in the defense and attack, I mean, it's awesome. And that we knew that that's exactly what we wanted from them. And that's what they want from us now. So they get used to it. They like it a lot more. So we're going to keep that there.
Yeah. Presumably, as well, when you've got these complex game modes that obviously take a lot of resources from you guys to make sure that they play well inside of these or the levels play well inside of these various game modes. Does that limit the amount of levels then you then get to create? Like, how many levels can we expect to play in Rainbow Six Siege?
You will have 11. And there's two variations of each one. There's day and night. So it kind of changes things up in terms of visibility, reactions that people have both on both the AI and the players. So, but it was all about iteration for us. We had to iterate constantly. Otherwise, it was going to be like a very strange experience. Wanted to be very consistent. Every single map has just as much creativity as the previous one. The sizes may change, but we wanted it to be it was very important for us that we nail that there was so much fun and it was still that awesome sandbox in all 11 maps. So we're still iterating here as we push forward to launch, but the players will help a lot with that. Have helped a lot with that with the beta. Sorry, with the alpha. So yeah, it's all about iteration. It's all about just constantly making it and testing and testing and testing. And that's helped us so much.
Awesome. Last question for you, Andrew. The Vegas games were super fun multiplayer-wise. Like, single player was excellent. Multiplayer was really good. I always had a bunch of like core friends who were really into that. When you think about Rainbow Six, you think about Rainbow Six Siege, are you stepping into the sort of esports aspect of it? Because it's sort of a difficult area to really stand your ground. Counter-Strike Go seems to be making a pretty good go of it now. So are you, with all this multiplayer stuff, are you trying to get into the esports side, or are you making this for, a couple of dudes and girls to play co-op with their buddies?
For us, our goal is to make a competitive tactical shooter. We want Rainbow to be a competitive tactical shooter about player creativity, and that's our mission right now. I mean, after October 13th, players want to take things into a different direction and the community wants to take it in a direction, we'll follow the community. Yeah. I mean, we've been very vocal about that with the feedback we got in the closed alpha and tweaking the game based on so much feedback. So again, we'll follow the community wherever they want us to go. So they want to go to that direction or another direction, we're on board.
Awesome. When can we expect to play it, and on what platforms?
We're going to play it October 13th on Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
This year! Video games coming out this year. Andrew Witz, thank you so much for your time. So much. Really appreciate it. And best of luck finishing it up. It looks like a great game. Can't wait to see more of it. And thank you for watching my little part here on the GameSpot stage. I'm done for today, but the one and only Lucy James Games ready to come up here and do a much better job than me. So make sure you stay tuned right here on GameSpot.com.